Hey guys, it's your boy Roy, and I have said this way too many times already. God of War, pain run, let's go kick some ass. I always start the videos by doing a little test myself to see if the mic is working. And I always say some stupid racist shit that will just get everybody's panties in a twist, or I insult a gender, or just myself, or any. It's just a free-for-all. It's kind of like what I'm doing to these guys right now. I'm just not discriminating. I'm just... Everybody needs to be equally ridiculed. That's my belief. What can be said about the mountain of madness that has not been said already? He said in a generic voiceover voice, with a generic voiceover, with generic commentary. Well, let me tell you, dear, I want to say reader, but if you read this video, then you are obviously insane. Dear viewer, the mountain of madness is like nearly every game has that moment, that little sparkle, that dwindle, that something that whenever you think about booting the game up makes you go like, I'll think I'll pass. Like when you think it's been 5 years, let me revisit that jewel of a game that you think, yeah, but I'm not gonna finish it because I'm gonna get to that part and I fucking hate that part, man. I never wanna breathe as long as that part is alive. I don't want to. Now that, in this game, is a mountain of madness for me. It's not really bad once you think about it. It's not mad. I like that you can get lost to some degree. Like there's even, compared to the rest of the game, you can actually do things in different orders. And as a conclusion, you can also, how to say... Like you can skip entire areas, and you can also get lost and be like, but wasn't I here before? Like multiple routes leading to the same path. There's even a puzzle. God forbid. This was also a really special moment for me, by the way, because this is being recorded on my new PS2. Because my old PS2 broke when I got here. And it still works, but it had a dual layer issue. So it could only not read dual layer games. And it already had that problem when I bought it. Sometimes with God of War it would glitch out and would not load. It had this same problem with, I think, Final Fantasy. I think that one was at 1 too. But yeah, this is the first one being recorded on the Fatty. I bought a big block. Like that thing is huge. I don't have an original Xbox, and that would be even bigger. But yeah, the Mountain of Madness. You know, let me just go over, because this is just going to be loops for a bit. Let me just go over some sections in games that make me go like, oh, I really don't want to play this game again. And I'm mostly going to focus on games that I really like. So here we have it. My top 10! No, that's not going to be it. At number yellow is Resident Evil 4. The Swamp section. This is a really weird choice to make because you can pretty much just run past it. But for some reason, the entire swamp section for me is just that one area that makes me go, oh, I don't want to. I paused the game here, I think, yeah. The swamp is just after the area where you're going to fight El Gigante for the first time in Chapter 1. This fight is... Did I speed it up? Why did I speed this up? I mean, I don't mind. It's just me doing this for hours. Oh, I died. Why did I show it? Oh, I showed that to show you that I was healing because of the deaths. That's it. Okay, I get it. I think. Maybe I had a joke planned. I don't know. Like, I edit all the videos immediately after we record them and do the voiceover a bit later. So, maybe I had a grand scheme. But I have no idea what that is. Sometimes I can be such an idiot. And then obviously there's going to be a counter. Sometimes, surely you just always be an idiot. Okay, but back to the top 10 things. Like, it's a swamp. There's something about it. It's this atmosphere. I'm a really big completionist on video games, so I always want to get the perfect thing. Like get all the treasures and stuff like that. I don't... For some reason, it always makes me feel like, I don't want to skip that. I always also go both ways in the where you have to choose left or right after the cabin fight in Resident Evil 4. I always go both ways because I want all the gems. It sucks because it takes a lot of ammo. Yeah, the swamp. For some reason, it just makes me go like, ugh. But granted, that entire game is filled with moments for me. Nearly the entire chapter 3.1, I just don't like it. Same with chapter 3.2, I think it was. Just the castle. I don't like the castle. The castle doesn't like me either. Same with the island. 5-1 is fucking hate it. What else can we play with? Let me think. Can't see my catalog of games from here. Maybe if I stretch out the mic, you know. Let's do this. Go on an adventure. You guys can't see it, but I'm really struggling to untangle my mic while recording. Can we? Okay, let's try and not break my voiceover recording device. Okay, how am I gonna do this? Guys, I need your expert guidance. I know you can't see me, and this is actually post commentary. I'm really sorry, but this fight is so boring. We've done this so many times. It's just a juggle. We just gotta, and it's only 1 meter away. That's even worse. Okay, yes, that. I'm just pulling on the thing. That's the stupid thing. Like, I'm just pulling on it. I'm not even trying to solve a problem. Just mindlessly pulling on the cord and saying like, oh, now it should untangle. It's the way it's supposed to be. I think I just made it worse. I'm really bad at this. Let's just give it another good chug, huh? Should work, right? Pull my laptop a bit that way. Try not to break the power cord. Oh, okay, this is absolutely disastrous. Okay, I'm just gonna pause the voiceover. Alright, I'm back. Now, does the cord have enough? Oh, this is wonderful. I should have done this a long time ago. Vanquish, not really. Yeah, I sort of don't like the forest section, if that's a thing. Nothing special about that. Yeah, Killer is dead. Oh my god, Killer is dead. What I really don't like is, I'm not gonna go for every game. That's gonna take forever. Let's just go for some important ones that really make me go like, oh my god. Yeah, Ninja Gaiden Sigma. Fuck. The Rachel chapters. Like, I bought an Xbox so I could play Ninja Gaiden 1 without the Rachel chapters. That's how much I did not like those things. It's like, I don't mind when a game forces you, gives you an extra character. I love that. That's variety in gameplay. Resident Evil did it wonderfully. 2 campaigns. Hell, even Death by Degrees knew how to do it by just giving you Anna to play as a secondary character in a separate mini story mode. Works. I like it. But don't force it down my throat in the main campaign. Like, Sigma 2 does it as well. Like, you got 8 chapters or something, and then suddenly you have, no, 4. First 4 chapters, and they have to play as Momoji. Okay? But why? Like, I just started leveling up my Ryu, whatever. Why do I have to do this? And especially in harder difficulties, it gets even worse. Because you've learned how to play with a certain character, and you only play with these guys in bite-sized chunks. Fucking hell. No, those games are actually pretty decent. Dark Souls, Blighttown. With Dark Souls, always makes me go like, oh, I don't want to go to Blighttown. I know perfectly how to skip it, don't worry, but every time I go there, I'm like, oh, I don't really want to. I'm actually seeing a lot of games that I have that I've never played. Because one time a friend of mine, his Xbox broke down, so I got a couple of his games. Like Gears of War 2, Metal Gear Solid HD Collection, Halo Reach, Lost Odyssey, never played any. And Vanquish on the Xbox, which has different controls, so this kind of sucks for me. Yeah, those games are all pretty good. Yeah, Splinter Cell Double Agent. Oh, I forgot about that one. I actually replayed that game this week. I think I talked about it in my last video that I really like that game. I think it's one of the better stealth titles that people just choose to ignore a lot of times. But its final mission before shit really hits the fan is Kinshasa, whatever. I hate that mission. Basically, you're in the middle of a war zone, like a civil war, but it's really unclear who's who. There's light everywhere. You don't have your goggles. You can't really like hide in the shadows. It's also impossible to 100% from what I know. I've not been able to do it. There's this one section where you have to be seen because you need to save for a secondary objective. You need to save a couple from being executed, which already bugs me because you do the objective, but by doing the objective, you knock people out or you kill them, and you're not allowed to knock people out or kill them on that game. That gives you a decrease in score. Shinobi, yeah, actually, Shinobi is a really great example. Shinobi is a PlayStation 2 title. It's a ninja game. I'm not even looking at the recording screen right now, by the way. I'm just looking at my bookcase full of video games, and sometimes looking at, oh, is there something important going on the screen? Shinobi, oh my god, don't even get me started. It's a PlayStation 2 action hack and slash, but with a more strategic element to it. It is one of my favorite action titles. It has great soundtrack, great combat, fun bosses, fun mechanics. Like, it's really something you can only find in that game and its sequel. What's the sequel called? I have it, Nightshade. But the final boss, man, I hate the final boss. The final boss is just, it's one big puzzle, but it has so many elements to it. Like, if you just make one small mistake, like the tiniest timing error, or the enemy positioning is against you, or at that time that you do it perfectly, the boss does something you did not want it to do, because sometimes you can just do shit. Then you have to retry, and I just hate that. I even have a broken game that doesn't work. No. Those are all fine. Yeah, Devil May Cry 3. With Devil May Cry 3, I always don't look forward to Chapter 15, but when I play it, I really like it, and it's over really fast. But for some reason, every time I'm booting the game, I'm like, oh, I don't want Chapter 15. Chapter 15, for those who don't know the number by heart like I do, because I fucking hate it, is a chapter where you have to rotate the rooms. Like the entire tower, you have to rotate it. It's a really fun concept, and I like it, but for some reason, I just never could get it done. Oh, I'm actually looking at the screen now, and this is important. You have no idea, actually, if you did a paint run, you do, how hard it was to cross this bridge. Like the bridge coming up, maybe I already showed, no, I don't. But after this, there's a bridge, and it will do things, and I don't like it. I don't like bridges. Not those kind. No. Okay, over to the GameCube titles, because that's big amount. No, I actually like all those. Let me check. Whoa, almost dropped something. Ah, Star Fox Adventures. I always don't look forward to playing that entire game. God, that was awful. I actually remember really liking it when I bought it, and every time I try to pick it up again, I can't get through the intro. Like the part with Crystal, and then later on when you try to get the cane, and it's like, oh my god, just I can't get through it. There's just something about it. Metroid Prime, I used to sometimes, when I was young, I was afraid of the space pirate mines. I think I just showed a death there, didn't I? Yeah, it was probably really funny. Did I make a death edit? I think I did. Oh, I saw that jump. Oh, that sucks. Oh. Oh yeah, I died so many times here. Okay, it's actually pretty funny. I'm watching my own video and I don't know what to expect. Come on, you can do it. Come on, Kratos. Push that lever. Come on, AI, be an idiot. Like, how can they miss? I'm standing still. This is... Okay, make the jump. Don't jump too early, you'll die. Yeah? Oh, I'm gonna die now, aren't I? Something's gonna happen. Like, he's gonna get stuck on the terrain or something. Oh, okay, too bad. I really hoped I would die there. That would be funny. Actually, I don't, because that means I would have to go back. Okay, never mind. That's too complex. We're gonna talk time travel now. No, thank you. With Tales of Symphonia, I'm just gonna keep going. To those who haven't played it, it's a sort of anime-like RPG. It was on the GameCube. It's still really good. There was this section where you had to go to a shadow temple. I always hated that part. But I still replayed that game because I replayed it a lot. Let's see. I know I'm forgetting one that's really important. Ah! Yeah, there we go. Oh, that one's actually pretty epic. Two of them. Metroid Prime 2, Echoes, the final key hunt. I don't know what it is with that game, but in Metroid Prime 1, you could at least sort of gather all the keys while you were playing if you knew where they were on the second playthrough. With this game, you just gotta backtrack for the entire freaking game, and it's just annoying. But the worst one is The Wind Waker. The Wind Waker is my favorite Zelda game. I have only finished it once. And it's my favorite Zelda game. My relationship with Zelda is rocky to begin with. Like, Wind Waker was the first one I really owned. I've never finished A Link to the Past. The first time I beat Ocarina of Time was Master Quest. I think like the first time I actually played a Zelda normally was Twilight Princess. I played on... I even did play that one normally because I played it on the Wii. Well, it was originally a GameCube title. I played it on the Wii. And then Skyward Sword later on. But the Wind Waker, like when I bought it, it was a birthday gift. It's actually a special game for me, for many reasons, but mostly because it was a birthday gift. And you start off the game by Link's birthday. It's Link's birthday, and I was still, I think I was 12 or 13 when that game came out. And you have to fill in your name, and I named it like my name. So it starts like Happy Birthday, Roy. I'm like, what? How did they? Oh wait, yeah. So it always has a special place in my heart just because of that little fourth wall breaking moment. Because I really played it on my birthday, and that game, like at the end, you have to do this incredibly tedious fetch quest, on which I was stuck for a long ass time because I couldn't really figure out how it worked. Because you got to remember, like my English at that time was, in terms of speaking, I was really good because I watched a lot of TV and stuff like that. So my English, like my speech, was about as good as it is now. It was maybe a bit less fluent, but it was still really good. You can chalk that up to watching too much TV. But my like writing and reading, I sometimes had a bit of a difficulty. I tried to read the manuals, and I remember I was always really trying to read the manual of Earthworm Jim 2 on the SNES. I just never could get it to work. So that fetch quest with the Triforce, I had really big problems trying to figure out how to work, because you had to buy a map and translate it at Tingle, and like it was really hard for me to understand what I had to do. But even then, like later on, I would try to replay the game, and I would never make it past that section. I would reach that section and then think to myself, okay, I can either just spend a long time doing this fetch quest, or I can just load up my final data save and do the final boss. I'm just gonna do the second one. Like I always make separate save games for like cool encounters or stuff. Like for Metroid Prime, I got a save game especially for Meta Ridley, because I just like that engagement. I wanna do that fight more often. Like sometimes I would just boot up the game like, oh, I'm gonna fight. I would just come home from school and be like, oh, I'm gonna fight Meta Ridley when I get home. Then I just boot up that save and get it over with and like kick some ass. So yeah, I never really finished that game like a second time. I did 100% it, I think, except the pictures, obviously, because that was absolutely horrible on that version. Getting all the pictures correct, that was really painful. What else? Yeah, well, that was about the top things in games that I don't look forward to. Oh yeah, another one is Painkiller, actually, which I'm looking at. It's a shooter on the PC. There's a certain boss I don't really like. It's actually every boss. And yeah, the infamous Water Temple, not really in Ocarina of Time. I don't really mind it. It's more annoying. I actually dislike the Shadow Temple more. Jabu Jabu as well. Actually, I don't really like that game at all. Like, I know that's a weird thing to say, but I did not grow up with it. So the entire magic of it being a great adventure game, like the trendsetter, it's kind of lost on me because it wasn't the trendsetter for me. Like my first real 3D Zelda game was Wind Waker. And it doesn't really hold up that well, but I do have to say that playing it is still a really good adventure game. So maybe I'm being a bit too harsh on it. It's a really good game, but it's just not so special for me. Like everybody always like, oh my god, Ocarina of Time, jerking off 24/7 to that name. Yeah, not for me. I'm sorry. And actually thinking about Metal Gear Rising now. Is there anything in that game that I don't know really? Yeah, Chapter 2. I don't really like Chapter 2 in that game. Every handicap run that I do with that game, it's Chapter 2. Like that makes me go like, oh Christ, what am I gonna get? What am I getting into? Thankfully, it's early in the game, so I actually did a lot of handicap runs, like tries, like with really bizarre handicaps, and that made me go like, okay, this is not doable. At least not with my skill set. After this, let's go back to God of War. Yeah, so yeah, I'm now sort of juggling this guy because I want my free health my free health refill, I guess. Is that gonna be my thing? Yeah, and I just like to juggle him. I haven't really played a lot of God of War since I beat this pain run. Right now I'm back into Neo because the final DLC launched, so I can finally focus on just getting the gear I want. Like that's something I always disliked about games with gear and stats and whatnot. Like in an old environment, it wasn't that bad. Like if you grab games like World of Warcraft, the original, vanilla, or Burning Crusade, like those two games, but also like for instance the Diablo title, or if you grab like a single-player RPG, like let's say Tales of Symphonia. Those games are what they are. They're not going to change. But with a game like World of Warcraft, eventually, like you didn't know when you first originally bought it, eventually everything you do, I was really afraid I was going to get hit during this cutscene. No matter what you do, it will all be for nothing, eventually. Like, at the start there was this boss called Ragnaros, and to beat Ragnaros you had to gather 40 people that knew what they were doing with good, specific gear for that engagement. Knew how to beat the entire raid to get there. I think it was like 9 bosses. And that's all nice and dandy, but now you can kill him on your own, and you'll probably do it in one blow. You don't even need to use a spell. You can just hit it once and it's dead. Sure, we're talking like 12 years later or something. Oh, here's the puzzle solution for those who are watching this video like, oh fuck, how did I do that again? I overlaid it for you. I'm such a nice guy. Like when I edit these things, I think of you mainly. You're always on my mind. What was I gonna say? Talking about, oh yeah, gear. Am I ever gonna remove the overlay? Okay, thank God. That would have been really embarrassing. What was that? I'm really afraid that the voiceover's not recording, so I'm just gonna pause the voiceover. By the Emperor, the voiceover was recording. Thank God, because I had to unplug it to the mic to go to my bookcase to check out the games, and then plug it back in. Sometimes after Premiere is going to be like, headset, I'm just recording with the built-in mic. Fuck, why you got to do it like that, you piece of shit, Premiere. But yeah, back to gear. Like I still remember, I wasn't that big in vanilla World of Warcraft, but I was big in the Burning Crusade, and I still recall just hating that I reached level 70. I had gear, decent gear. I was part of top tier rating team, at least on my server. So I had the highest tier, I had the highest goodies, I had the best weapon that my class and specification could have. So I was really happy. My EP was like hitting the table every evening, like, oh, I look so good, yeah. My hammer was pink. It was awful. Everybody laughed. And then the next expansion was about to come out, Wrath of the Lich King. And basically what happened, what will always happen, is your gear is just pointless. Sure, your gear was still pretty good if you had top end gear, but for most people, and even for me with some pieces, like I would do a quest, like the first quest in the new expansion, and like that little item's better than what I had worked 2 years for. And I had that feeling a lot with the Neo DLC. Like I played the original release a lot because I really liked it, and I farmed my ass off to get the perfect setup. Like I had this great gear with the great stats. It was max level. And I was like, I don't even remember what my set was. Like now that I think about, I still have the sword. And then the second DLC hit, and immediately, like, there were new sets, there was a new weapon, and the armor, you could scale it back up again. So I generally sort of stuck to the same armor, but you had to upgrade it all, and it was just a lot of effort. Like, I would sometimes I would farm for evenings on end to get all my gear to level 160, and the first item that drops in the new DLC is 190. Makes me go like, fucking hell, why'd you gotta be like that? But I still did it. I got the max gear again, and I'm really happy. How do I survive this? Wow, that's some really good thinking. Back to gear. So then the next DLC hits, and I'm trying, and suddenly I realize, why am I even doing this gear thing? Like, I'm thinking about upgrading again, like, oh, my stats and my setup, and then I'm thinking like, there's gonna be another DLC. It's already announced. I have the season pass. It already has the title in it, and it's probably gonna be released in about 2 months. So you know what? Fuck it. Fuck it. I'm not gonna bother with. I really hate that you can't jump down there for some reason. I'm not gonna bother. So I just played the DLC once. I didn't even bother with the next difficulty level that it introduced. I barely bothered. And that was it. And now the third DLC is out. Now I can finally just grab my gear and think about what I want to do and stuff like that. Think about life. Even though I don't really need to, because the gear is already set in stone for me, because they have the entire armor set and weapon from Ninja Gaiden in there. I gotta use that. I'm sorry. And it looks so freaking badass. So, oh, here we get more of Kratos' backstory. Oh, this game is so bloody. I love it. I'm just walking across the street. I'm a whore. I say she's a whore because she's a woman. No, it's wrong. Should not say that word. I like these pieces of artwork. Yes, it's short on budget, but it's a really smart way to animate, and it just looks really, really good, like artistic. Yeah, this backstory always gets me. I kind of appreciate that these types of games always get slandered for, it's just mindless hack and slash. You just to quote DSP, I'm pressing buttons. Yet there's so much more to it. God of War has a pretty good story. So does Devil May Cry and Devil May Cry 3. And I would even go as far as to say that Ninja Gaiden, like the original, is almost poetic. If you really delve into what it's offering and how the cutscenes are built up and stuff, it's really intense. I always think, like, when the camera zooms into that shot of Kratos, that he's holding a shield on his back, but it's sort of the reflection of his weapons. Those games have pretty good stories. It wasn't until like the Platinum Games era that they really started to suck, story-wise. Like Metal Gear Rising was weird. Vanquish didn't really care. Wonderful 101, I have to say, was really enjoyable for what it was worth. Though sometimes it did drag on a bit too long. And the fighting system for... There's this weird thing with me, but I do not like games made by Kamiya. The only one game that he made, of which I really like the combat, like 100%, is Beautiful Joe. First Devil May Cry is hit and miss for me. Wonderful 101, every time I look at that game and I try and play, I'm like, there's something about it that just doesn't click with me. I don't know what it is. I'm more of an, I think, Inaba or Itsuno guy, if that's a thing. But the same goes for like games like Transformers and Korra. I'm a big fan of Platinum Games, but the more I think about it, I only really like two of their games, and that's Vanquish and Metal Gear Rising. And to some extent, Bayonetta 2. I really loved Bayonetta 2 until I delved in too deep and I realized that there were too many issues to it. So, yeah. There is that problem. What's coming after this? Are we already at the end? I mean, I know we have the most painful encounter of my life here. We'll see. Let me just take a little sip of water. Delicious. I really wonder what will happen to YouTube in the future, and YouTube channels in general. Because if I'm not really following the news, but I do know that YouTube changed another one of its policies, and it's getting harder to monetize I wonder what will happen if YouTube just disappears, like, or if eventually just says, you know what, from now on all the content is free unless you are like a supportive channel, like registered in the YouTube account book or whatever. I wonder what will happen. Like, I still don't know what happened to the guy that made Equals free. He just left Ray William Johnson. Maybe he's got a different YouTube channel now or something. Works for TV. Hey, slam dunk him in the pit. That's actually pretty funny. I'm gonna do it to him too. No, just I'm probably gonna want to heal off of him. Yeah. I wonder what will happen. Like, some guys might still upload YouTube videos just for fun, or do Let's Plays, but I don't really know. I still remember the early days of YouTube. Like, the one thing I would always watch was this Linkin Park music video of Resident Evil 4. And there was one with Die Another Day in it. For some reason, I still recall that entire segment, and it was just funny to me. That was one of the first. I still remember the interface being really bad. I would just look up games, and sometimes you would find them. There was another site that I used. I think it was called like Video Game Guides, GameGuides.com or something. And I would use that for like videos where you could upload a video if you were playing Resident Evil 4 Mercenaries mode and upload your high score. But I always thought they were like, how do you call it, professional recorders or something like that. Did I just drop down? Yeah, I did. I died a lot here. I'm really bad at that jump. Because I had no idea how to record. Because, yeah, as I mentioned, capture cards weren't really there back then. I think the only way to record was to upload, like, record VHS and convert it to DVD and put that in your PC or something. I think that was it. At least over here. I really get clobbered hard. Oh yeah, actually, this is the original take, but I actually redid this part and did it without being damaged because I really needed my full health on the next engagement. And we're gonna rip her head off, yeah. Again, the story bits over here are pretty entertaining. That the architect killed his wife because she could not understand what he was trying to achieve. And then, probably in his insanity, he built the door that can only fit the head of his wife. That is fucked up. Guy has issues. Okay, by the way, as you just saw, just skip everything. Yay! But up next is the pain. The maximum pain. So much pain that the game almost copyright infringes Max Payne. Pain. The escalator fight. There are many tricks and glitches. You can find them all online. This is the one I use. My strategy is to first kill off all the archers. And I try to do it from top to bottom, I think. Is that what I do? Yeah, I try to do it from top to bottom, because what I want to do is, like, originally he keeps aiming the archers at the archers. I'm just going to do that now to get there. But what I want to do is you want to use the archers to actually hit the... Like, is this a successful attempt? Because it's not a good one. Anyway, like, if you get these out of the way, then you can just walk forward and grab the archers and slam them into the harpies for some iframes, and sometimes they get stuck and get grinded to pieces. So grab him, throw him out. You gotta jump off because it immediately resets the counter, because you can only stay on it for so long. I do like this encounter from a mental standpoint. Like, it's just insanity. There's so much shit going on. There's grinders. You can't stay on the platforms for too long or you get incinerated. There's harpies everywhere. You can really see that the designers know, like, okay, this guy has upgrades. He has, like, Hades, Wrath, or whatever it's called, maximum level. He's got the Blade of Artemis that's going to chop them to bits. Like, this place is nothing. Like, they really had to bring their A game. And this is my tactic right here. I just roll forward and square, triangle. And the reasoning behind this is as follows. By rolling, the AI of the harpies gets tricked. For some reason, in their archaic coding. Rolling makes their AI reset in such a way that they won't do their dive bomb. Like, they'll target you internally and be like, oh, maybe now it's time to do a dive bomb. And then, oh, he rolled. Let me just forget that idea. It just makes them really less inclined to use that attack. I don't think I've seen it happen, like maybe once or twice. Then I use the plume because the plume has great AoE and sometimes makes them fall on the floor and roll into the grinder. And that's it. I'm actually looking around me to see if I can just read something for you guys, because this is going to take a while. I can read a comic book, but that would be a bit of a waste. So, what shall we talk about? Oh yeah, let's just talk about Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. You know what? Fuck it. It's a fun little thing to talk about. I rarely go to message boards that on GameFAQs of games that I don't own, unless I'm thinking about purchasing them. But this forum has been like my secret hub of entertainment. To those who don't know, Marvel vs. Capcom is the sequel to Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and it was made on quite the budget. It's basically just Marvel vs. Capcom 3 with, some might even say, worse graphics, worse art style. Sorry. Oh, am I gonna cut that out? No, I'm too lazy. It is just a devastatingly ugly game compared to the previous one, which is a shame. Reuses character models, reuses animations. Hell, sometimes I wish it reused all the models because they would look better. But the fighting system, from what I'm seeing, looks really fun. And that's something, like, I just watched a professional Street Fighter 5 match that I'm missing from that game. It's not fun. Like, it's not energetic. Like, all the other fighting games, sometimes there's like this insane combination. You go, oh, ho! Or get that little holy shit moment. And Street Fighter 5 has none of that. It's just boring as hell every time I watch it. And it's even boring to play. Like, every time a new character hits, I reinstall the game because I bought it as a download, and which you should never do because you can't refund it. I would have refunded the game eons ago if I didn't, you know, have it digitally, because I don't want to play it anymore. So fuck me. And I'm probably not going to be able to play it later on because they're going to shut down the network. So you know what? That's a topic for another day. But every time a new character releases, I'm like, oh, they show a trailer. I'm like, oh wow, this guy looks really good. Maybe now it'll be fun. And then I realized that part of the fun is not the character that you're playing, but it's the characters you're playing against. And the characters you're playing against are just so boring in terms of mechanics, complexity, and playstyle. They're all the same. It's all basically just rushdown. Even Dhalsim is a rushdown character to some degree. Vega's rushdown instead of pokes. Balrog obviously is massive rushdown. Ryu is almost non-existent. Guile has rush properties to some extent, which is weird. He can now sort of walk towards you and do a flash kick for no apparent reason. And defenses are nerfed even more because you can't really do invincibility moves anymore unless you spend a bar, and even then, if they block it, you're dead. You like lose 80% life. So there's just something about the game, like even Daigo. Daigo's my favorite Street Fighter player, and I think of a lot of people. He's a Japanese all-star, and if there's one thing that he's known for, it's his Ume Shoryu. His name is Daigo Umehara, and Ume Shoryu, Shoryuken is an attack, so Ume Shoryu. And the Ume Shoryu basically means, like, the Shoryuken is an attack with invincibility at the start. That's an uppercut. And he would just be known that at intervals he would just, from the gut, like his gut, he would think like, okay, he's gonna do an attack, I'm just gonna do a Shoryuken, and it always hits. Not nearly always. They call it the Ume Shoryu, but even he's not gonna bother with that anymore because, like, okay, I can just block. Hey, I did it, and maybe eat a mix-up and get like 20% damage, or I'm gonna do Ume Shoryu and probably die horribly. And this one's cool. This text is a reference to God of War 2. Shows some nice foreboding. And then we get it. I still remember the first time I played this game and I reached this point. I was like, oh my god, I'm actually here. Like, I found it. And that's really impressive from a gameplay play standpoint. That the game actually makes you feel burned out. Maybe like, God damn it! Not another place, not another maze, not another place. I just want this over with. I want the Pandora's box. And then you get it, and you're like, and then obviously you die really fast afterwards. But that's besides the point. We don't talk about that here. We're just gonna talk about that in the next video. Yeah. So yeah, Kratos dies. That was actually something I did not see coming first time playing. For some reason, my first playthrough really stuck with me with this game. But I really liked that Kratos. He doesn't want to die, so he just ignores death. I think he does that too in God of War 2. He just says no, and he just climbs out. And we're like, the fuck? You're a badass. But that's just the way Kratos is. I also really like the design of Pandora's box. I wonder if they changed that. Do they change that? Because I know it's in God of War 3, but it's been ages since I played that game. So many topics. Can you imagine working with me? Like, I can jump from topic to topic, like at a whim. It's a skill. It's an ability. I've owned the craft for many years. Outside of that, well, this recording is almost over. And I had 2 promises to myself today. Actually 3. I wanted to finish an article. Done. I wanted to do a voiceover. Done. And I wanted to finish reading a book. Yeah, I'll get there tonight. It's another 40k novel. I only need 50 pages to go, and then I finally finish it. I just want to finish it. I want to be over. It's a fun book, but it's missing direction. Unlike this game, which has excellent direction. Look at that. That's beautiful. This game's excellent. Alright guys, I think this is probably it. Is it? I have no idea. Oh yeah, I'm gonna do something cool. I remember. Look, here it comes. I practiced this. Actually, it was just luck. Oh, hey, I kicked it towards the screen. Such a badass. I always like that about certain videos, like for instance the Vanquish Challenge 6 video from Molu Japan, that he ends it by blowing up the tower. And I'm thinking, like, did he do that on the fly, or was he just thinking like, what am I going to do now with the sparrow? Oh, I'm going to shoot at the tower, and it just times right that the end screen shows him blowing up the tower. I just wonder how people do that. Would be fun. This God of War though can senses that from a distance, throw it perfectly, yet can't spew fire through a block. What a guy. Also, that thing pretty much shrunk in its way there, by the way. I was just noticing. That's a lot of blood. I like that this is the moment where they show what really happened. How he got his ashes. Like the final moment just before his death. I wonder if the original intention was for the game to end here. I don't think so. That would have been... Could you just imagine if this was it? Like the game ends here. You... Like they would have to change the... roller coaster... I'm just going to call it the roller coaster ride. Escalade... No, you know what I mean. The fight we just had. They would have to change it to a boss. But this would be a pretty bleak ending. Like you get Pandora's box. God of War fires that thing, you're dead. Game fucking over. Damn, that would be depressing. But I kind of like this better. We just crawl out of hell and we're gonna beat the shit out of that arrogant son of a bitch. And is that sexist to imply that the mother is a bitch? That he's the son of it? I don't know. I don't really care. Granny doesn't care either, do you, Granny? I don't really care. I just... By the way, she is the most uncaring person in this entire galaxy. Like, her entire village is on fire. And the only thing she goes like, yes, I have 14. What is going to happen? Then why didn't you warn your own people, you... Oh, the idiocy. Still great design of Kratos, though. I really like it. Fuck, why did they have to kill him off, too? And with kill him off, I mean reboot him in... walkie-talkie Dark Souls stuff that makes me go like, why does this exist? I want to quickly say one thing, and this is probably the end of the video, so I can't really say it. Did I end it here? No. Okay. Kratos is falling. I have time. Okay. This is also an example of great writing. They bring back the sailor guy from the beginning, who's gonna be like, Why are you killing me in hell too? It's just a fun little detail. But yeah, what I want to talk about real quick is people were saying like, because Neo's done now, I want a new Ninja Gaiden. I don't want a new Ninja Gaiden. I don't want a Devil May Cry. Hell, I don't even want Vanquish 2 or Metal Gear Rising 2 at this point. God Hand 2 can just go out of my dreams and stay there. Why? Because I don't want current publishers touching it. These games have something special. Something that games these days just don't have. And I don't think the modern market can give us the experience that these games have given us. It just wouldn't work. I do not want to see Kratos with a stamina bar. And I think that just might happen.